So with me being a new Forza Horizon player, as y'all know, I did end up starting on Forza Horizon 5. I then also did end up playing 4, and with that, I am now playing Forza Horizon 3. I figured I would do a review on Forza Horizon 3. Obviously, we are now in 2026, and I am a brand new player on this game. Literally playing it now, so if you are wondering, I have never played Forza Horizon 3 ever besides now, which is kind of insane. In fact, I did end up starting the game late 2025, so obviously I'm playing it 9 years past when it did end up coming out. And I'm not going to lie, guys, this game has honestly been such a fun experience. And I'm well over 50 hours into the game right now. And funny part is, I don't even think I can stop, bro. I really don't. I actually think right now, I'm probably at like a beginning part. I could easily put well over 100 plus more hours into the game, just cruising around, figuring cars out, driving different vehicles. And there's still a lot of cars I don't even have unlocked yet. But there's a few things about Forza Horizon 3 I really did like a lot, guys. The first one I gotta admit right now, I did end up even talking about this in a separate video. That's the progression in this game, bro, okay? I understand a lot of racing games nowadays do. Let me just be real. A lot of racing games nowadays don't really have a progression standpoint to them. Sure, Forza Horizon 5 doesn't have one. Motorfest doesn't have it. I would honestly say one of the only recent racing games that have a feeling of maybe progression's probably Need for Speed Unbound. And the reason why I say that is like the single player starting off in like a, a terrible car or something, leveling up through the ranks, having a slower vehicle, trying to get a higher level car and stuff like that. I don't know, that's just the way I feel about it. But what's kind of insane though is playing Forza Horizon 3, man, I can definitely see why so many people talked about this game and the way that they did it. Because the entire time I was playing this game, man, I was honestly like, wow, this is how they have to do 6 when they end up making it, dude. They gotta have the feeling of progression, but also the feeling that kind of sets the game apart. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is when you guys start off in this game, at least for me, I have none of the DLCs, none of the VIP stuff, and obviously you can't buy any of that stuff now unless you get like a key or something. I did end up getting a copy from a game store nearby, which I was super happy to find that. And the funny part about it is, though, is I kind of knew going into Forza Horizon 3, even Forza Horizon 4 was the same way. Like, I did end up getting a base disc copy, so obviously I have none of the VIP stuff, none of the membership stuff, absolutely nothing. And you pretty much start the game from the bottom, and that is honestly kind of one of the best ways to do it. It's funny because I was seeing a lot of people going, oh, Forza's always handing you basically free everything. It's always giving you free stuff. And what's hilarious about that is, try the game out without having any of the DLCs or any of that stuff, guys. Like, start from the bottom and do not use any of that stuff. You might get some free cars from, like, the message thing, but, use some of the cars you start with. Don't use any of those and just go through the game and stuff like that, dude. And you'll probably notice pretty fast that, yes, the game is not just handing you stuff. That was something I noticed super early on in this game. And in fact, I was like, okay, I'm really loving the sense of progression, like going through and actually using different cars like off-road, regular rally cars, modern, retro rally. Then you get the modern supercars later on after you get the other festival side unlocked. But you can also pick the way you actually want to go through the game too. For example, guys, you start on Byron Bay. I did end up getting the Outback one after that. Then I went to the city. Then finally I went to the Yarra Valley area, or the Terra Valley, whatever it's called. I went over there last, which would then get you the supercar. You get a free one. Everyone's like, oh, look, a free supercar. Well, the thing is, you kind of need it to use it in other races to level up, right? I mean, that's something you kind of need to do. And everyone's like, oh, look, it gave you a free car. You know what's kind of confusing about that is people are complaining that there's like no progression in some of these games. Now, obviously, Forza Horizon 3 was like the last Forza game that considered that, it had progression in it. But I was like, okay, well, if this game has no progression, it did end up giving you free cars so you can progress, do the races in that area to then get more XP, more leveling, get farther into the game to then expand the entire, like, festival playlist, which I'll talk about in a bit here, or the festival site. My brain is cooked thinking of festival playlist. But either way, though, you then do that, you get more events unlocked. But the thing is, though, even on the old Need for Speed games, I'm talking about Carbon, by the way, that game would also give you a chance to get a free car that you could then use to progress into the game farther. So even an old Need for Speed game from 17 years ago was also doing that. But apparently, the newer game, like even Forza Horizon 3 doing that, is apparently not progression, even though it's kind of the same thing. And I honestly really did enjoy that. Like, the game would give you a discount for a car that you could use, and who knows? You might end up getting lucky in a wheel spin, which for me, guys, as I did mention in a few videos, my wheel spin luck, bro, oh my goodness, awful. Okay, guys, the worst wheel spin luck I have ever seen in any of the Forzas I have played, bro. A lot of the times I was getting like $5,000 or $10,000 from most of the wheel spins, and I was honestly laughing a lot. Like it was pretty hilarious to me that I was like, all right, well, oh look, a wheel spin gives me 5 grand. I'm like, oh, that's helpful. And sometimes I would get like a car I could use, right, that I could use for progression. Dope. But most of the time I was not really getting that much stuff. And then people also argue that Forza's always handing you things, and the funny part is I was getting a whole lot of nothing from the wheel spins, but I had to use certain vehicles. I had to put money into them. So I really did not have a lot of money that often in the game. And I kind of had to pick what I wanted to upgrade and stuff like that. Again, it gives you like a sense of the game not handing you everything, which is something I really loved about Forza Horizon 3. I love the entire way the game had progression to it. The way they did end up doing like the skill point thing as well, to where you have like the instant rewards, skills, and stuff like that. You can give yourself different points to get more skill like point increase when you're drifting or, passing cars and stuff like that. You get like a bigger bonus. You can then eventually level that up and even get yourself a free car, of course, from getting more, leveling on that, getting more points and stuff to allow you to buy them. You can also get like some money and stuff like that, which would help you some instant levels. You can do stuff as like a festival boss, giving you different perks and stuff like that. I really did enjoy the perk system in this game. And I kind of hope they might end up doing something like this in the next game. I would say that every single car will probably end up having like, skills and stuff like that you'll have for them, like Forza Horizon 5 and 4, to where you can level up things in that car and get like wheel spins and, certain unlocks for that, which honestly increases the overall progression even more in a way. So I thought that was pretty dope. I did enjoy that in Forza Horizon 3, and to me it's like another thing that I'm like, no, this is actually pretty dope. I enjoy this, and I would say a lot of people would probably feel the exact same way. Speaking of all that, though, the festival sites, guys, I like the way they did it in this game. You would end up seeing, again, that you start at one, you can then get the other one, then every time you level them up or you progress through the game, you get more stunts unlocked, different, like, bucket list events, then also more events you'd have to do. And sometimes those events might require a different vehicle class that you don't have, so you have to save up if you don't have it. If you're like me, getting $10,000 from a wheel spin, you probably got to save up to go get it. But once you then did end up getting that, you can then do those races, level up more and stuff like that. It was honestly a really fun experience, and I did like the way they actually did this game. Was it a full-on story mode like Need for Speed, or I haven't played Forza Horizon 2 or 1 yet, so obviously I can't say things about those. But no, it's not something like that, but I did like the way they actually had a sense of progression. I really feel like, dude, if they can nail something like how Forza Horizon 3's overall like progression standpoint was, and add like a hybrid story mode in there, I really do feel like that could be a gold mine for a game, dude. I feel like it could be amazing, a nice mix that would give players that feeling of, oh, we have a story mode type to it, but it's also not handing you everything. Maybe, again, they could set up the wheel spin so they only give you certain amount of things for a while till you level up and get farther into the game, and then you might end up seeing some supercars, but maybe earlier on you're not going to end up getting supercars. I feel like that could be a good way to fix that issue of not handing you a supercar 20 minutes into the game, right? If it's like, okay, well, in order to get supercars, you have to get this far into the single player and stuff, and then you could start seeing them in a wheel spin and have a chance to get them. I feel like that would be a good way to fix that, and most likely something they could do in Forza Horizon 6, at least something I thought about while playing Forza Horizon 3. Right now, a few other things I did want to talk about, guys. Probably the biggest elephant in the room: the handling and overall cars in this game, guys. The first thing I gotta say, I love it. I love the way cars handle in Forza, dude. After playing 5, I got super excited to play 4. Love 4, now I'm playing 3, and I love 3, dude. I love the way the cars handle. Every car does actually feel different in a way. I don't know how people are saying that each car feels the same, because honestly, a lot of the cars I drive, some cars can feel heavier, they corner differently, they have different overall speed to them, and at least for me, I have been noticing every car does have a different feel, and it's something I really am enjoying a lot. I love the cockpit view, and I feel like the cockpit view is pretty dang amazing for this game coming out in 2016. I love how the mirrors work as well. What is that concept, bro? Working mirrors in this game? Like, sure, you could say, well, the graphics in the mirrors might not be 100%. Well, sure, bro. But this game's also 9 years old, so it's the type of thing where you're like, oh, well, we'll take maybe some little weirdness here and there with that stuff. You know what I mean? I did love the way the dashes worked in this game as well. Like, you're not going to have every single dial turning and stuff like that, or different things. Like, the game will have tire pressures and those little things like you'd see in other racing games. So I really did enjoy the cockpit view and stuff like that. And a lot of the cars, as I did mention, guys, every car that I drove, whether it's extreme off-road, retro rally, modern rally, rally monsters and stuff like that. You have the modern supercars, you got like saloons, you have the super GTs, and one of the other things I really liked about it is how they pretty much had every single festival site, and each area was designed around some of the vehicle classes. So like you can't just do every single event, at least, you know, when you are progressing through the game anyway. Later on, you'll be able to pick your cars and stuff like that and do different events in there. But when you are starting out, you had to use like a cult classic, or you had to use an off-road. So you pretty much had to have one of those vehicles to progress into the game, which is something I really did enjoy a lot. And to be honest, dude, I'm going to say this as well. I feel like having vehicle classes, which is something I loved about Forza in general so far, 3, 4, and 5. I love how every single class actually feels useful. They feel different. Whether you like, maybe you want to off-road, you want to like rally or something like that. Every class you can like build them and set them to your liking. And you can also have like B, A, S1 and stuff like that. It's just honestly a really good design overall. And who knows, maybe they might end up building upon that in Forza Horizon 6 and doing different things with it. What would you guys like to see differently with how the vehicle classes and stuff like that is set up? Now, the thing about that is I would say some people might be like, well, maybe they could set it up so maybe it won't be as strong on meta and things like that. And to be real, guys, I feel like most racing games have an issue with meta or cars that are really good. The main difference I see with Forza, though, is you can build the vehicles a bit more with, like, tuning and different part setups and different engine swaps, and you could probably make some of the cars a lot more viable than how they would be before if you didn't do that stuff to them, so maybe that will make them more viable. But again, let me know what y'all think about the vehicle classes and stuff like that. What would you like to see in Forza Horizon 6? Playing Forza Horizon 3 kind of got me thinking about this a bit, like maybe they might change it, how will they do it differently? They might end up having like the exact same thing we see in 3, 4, and 5. Maybe they might tweak it, add some stuff to it. Who knows? But overall, dude, I love the way you can build vehicles. Obviously, you can't customize every part of every single car and stuff, but that doesn't really bother me, dude. I still love the way the cars feel, how they handle and stuff like that is the biggest highlight for me. I just really enjoy going faster, just racing in the game. Driving different vehicles in the rain or different like settings and stuff like that is just so dang entertaining. And I feel like each car will probably give you a different feeling when you are doing that. And with that being said, we also then have one of my favorite parts about the game, which you guys probably did end up seeing me talking about that in a few other videos, is I love the map, dude. And the funny part is the car thing can also fall into this because it's kind of similar. You're driving different cars in different environments, right? And the map really does have an amazing diverse area and different sections too, whether like outback for the deserty, we have the rainforest, the city, we have Byron Bay with the beautiful coastal area over there as well. And it kind of has, each area has like a different atmosphere to it, and each car you are driving will also fall into that, which is something I really did enjoy a lot. And I still feel like to this day, I'm going to say it. I can easily see why everybody says Forza Horizon 3 basically had the best map in the entire series, or at least that's what everyone does argue, at least 3 to 5 anyway, that this game really had the best overall map. For me, from what I have played so far, I also did like Forza Horizon 4's map, but I really do like the diversity of threes, dude. It's just so dang fun. I love the way it flowed. I like the different areas and how they also did end up doing the festival sites in each place that kind of introduce you to different sections of it. It was really cool with the overall like design they did end up picking for this game. And it really did work too, man. Like being a brand new player here in 2000, like late 2025, and obviously we're in 2026 now. I love this game, dude. It is so dang fun. I'm so happy I got to visit it. I've been having a lot of questions of people wondering how I'm playing the game as well. Like, I had a lot of people asking me on 4. Someone asked me how I'm playing Forza Horizon 3. And the simple answer is I did end up going to a local game store, as I did mention earlier, and I found a disc copy. You could probably find a disc copy online somewhere and probably order it if you guys wanted to. You just got to make sure it works, because sometimes they may not. And that can be a bit unfortunate. At least you should be able to return it if it doesn't work, but I would probably say that is probably your best bet to be able to play the game. Keep in mind, you also can't get any of the DLCs or the VIP stuff or the membership stuff. So if you did want to start this game again, you will probably end up starting like me, man. All the way at the bottom, not having any of these special cars to help you in different things. And to be honest, dude, it is so dang fun starting from the bottom in these games. Like, you really don't have a lot of stuff. You pretty much have to use the cars and stuff that you can get early on and kind of progress through the game. And that was a really big feeling I had with Forza Horizon 3, going through and like using the off-road buggies and off-roading. I absolutely love off-roading in Forza, by the way, dude. This game is still the GOAT for me in like entire open world racing games. I love it. I love how they feel. So dang fun. But going through and using each vehicle like that kind of gives you like the sense of, okay, well, I can't necessarily get the best car right now. I have to buy like the cheaper vehicle, which is something I did. Like when the game would give you the menu of like being able to pick a car that you can use for that next part that you would need, I would always pick the cheapest one as I basically had to. So you kind of have to use the cheaper vehicle, level up and stuff like that, get more money, eventually get yourself a better car. And I really do love that feeling, man. I feel like the overall progression in games is something that I think a lot of people probably want back. They don't want to be handed stuff, dude, and that's something I really felt in Forza Horizon 3 that really makes me hope Forza Horizon 6 has it when it does end up releasing in this year. Like, I really can't wait to see how they do end up doing it, dude. I hope we have, like, a progression design, like, as I mentioned before, like a hybrid story mixed with that from 3. Dude, it would be so great. Like, I would absolutely love it. And overall, guys, being a brand new player playing this game here, I gotta admit, I absolutely love it. And I kind of wish I would have played Forza back in the day, but I never really had an Xbox. I've always had a PlayStation. So now that I'm getting into this, I am so dang glad I'm playing these games now. Even though I'm a bit late, dude, they're so fantastic. And speaking of that, I also want to mention I am planning on talking about the graphics in this game as well, guys, in a separate video and the way the game runs. Because I'm mind blown this game is 9 years old and it runs this good, bro. It's so dang smooth. It doesn't lag, doesn't glitch. It's not dropping frames or anything. And on top of it, it looks absolutely amazing. So do stay tuned for that video because there's some stuff I want to talk about with that, which is something a lot of people tend to miss with like graphics and stuff like that in games, or they kind of just focus on the wrong stuff, which is honestly a big issue with a lot of games nowadays. Don't get me wrong, graphics are important, but it also needs to run good, and it still has to be a fun game, which I really do think Forza just hits every single point there. Do let me know what y'all think about Forza Horizon 3 in the comments below. So far, as a brand new player, I've loved this game. I'm still thinking about trying to get a loaded key or something. Hopefully it's safe, guys. Let me know in the comments. I kind of want to get one of those to see if I can get the DLCs and experience them because, dude, that Snowy Mountain DLC thing looks amazing, and I really do want to try it. I really do want to try it. Do let me know what y'all think about Forza Horizon 3. What are some of your favorite memories in this game? What are some of your favorite things about it? I am curious because maybe some things I might have missed, I can go back in and discover some different things as I am still playing through the single player and stuff like that. Yes, I have not done every race. I'm going through and doing the championships, dude, but there's a lot of them, plus a few more bucket list events on top of that.